I'm not amused. All right, we back. It's been like 2 or 3 years. Everybody wondering where we was at. We still here. You got Leo
It has been
Green
that
from
long.
Leo Green Studios. We
What
all
up? What up?
monetized now. We all making money. No, I'm just playing. We ain't making money on YouTube. We ain't even close to it. Leo Green is pretty close, but we're not close to it yet.
I hope so. I hope we both are close. I hope we all are close. All
Uh,
channels.
all right, everybody. Hope we all nice and situated financially. All right, so unlike DC, what we're gonna talk about today, I want to talk about whether this new Flash movie was a success. All right. Now, look at Leo. He ready to talk. I'm not going to let him talk. All right. Because he is such a fan of DC and he wants to keep giving DC a chance. Now, all right. So, the premise of this is, was this a good movie? And does anybody believe DC should be given a chance? As in, when new movies drop, should we be excited for it? So, Leo Graham, we'll let you start. You can tell me what you thought about the movie, or wherever you want to start. I'll let you start wherever you
But
want to
did you
start.
even say what movie we talking about?
We talking about the Flash.
Okay, we're not talking about like Captain Adam or anything like that, right?
We can get to that. I tell you what. Let's just basically start at what you thought
The
of this
Flash.
Flash movie. But how about this? When you called me, you had a good point. You came in with people basically already writing this movie off for a drop. So how about you tell me what you thought about the movie even before you sat down and watched it? You could even start the trailer because I remember you liked the trailer.
All right. I thought this was a good movie. You know what? I think a lot of people, maybe it's the Marvel camp people,
Mm-hmm.
are writing off DC movies before they give them a chance. And I thought that the Flash was casted to be this guy. It was to be this guy because you hated the past Flash character that he played, so that he can kind of redo what he did in this one. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people take all the DC cartoons and say, "Hey, this is what it should be," because the DC cartoons are like on a whole nother level. They actually better than all of the Marvel movies. If you watch the DC movies and put them together,
Yeah. Oh, that's
that
yeah.
that's the that's the big issue right there. Because
That's facts.
you have such a high caliber to reach, but you can't reach it if
Yeah.
you go with those expectations. You're never going to enjoy the movie at all. You're not going to enjoy none of the movies.
Yeah.
And I think I like the darker way they've been going. I just hate that they shooting down the movies before they get started. Like you seen in this movie, they kind of built up to hey, we could have another 2, 3 movies out of here. Like we can get a Supergirl movie going. We could get a new Batman movie. We could have had Batman Beyond, but since they're going to just hate on the movies, then hey, you don't you lose out on the new Supergirl because I thought the new Supergirl was balling.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I like most about the new Supergirl? Because if you don't like spoilers, but they did hit you with a spoiler because we all knew there was a Supergirl going to be in the movie and not Superman, basically.
Definitely.
Uh, if you watch Flashpoint from the DC animated movies, you got a skinny, riveled up. So when I first seen like this skinny, riveled up, I was like, oh, we're gonna get the Superman
Yeah.
who is from that, but we didn't. They did a switcheroni on us and
Yeah.
say, nope, you're not gonna get that one. You're gonna get a Supergirl, and that was a good way they did it. I
Yeah.
thought that was really because that was one of the best parts of the movie, Supergirl going super ham.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people hate Superman, but I think he's the best Superman. I think they did a lot of good things in the casting. I don't have a lot of complaints
You talking about how
about
they
the
had
casting.
Christopher Reeves as Superman?
Well, they put Christopher Reeves as Superman in this movie.
That's what I thought you
You,
was
you,
talking about.
oh no, yeah. Hey, I like that you got a multiverse because
Mm-hmm.
all of the multiverses, the characters are drawn different, so that explains the different characters of Superman that you got. They even did like the the Cage guy. What's his name?
Nicholas.
They did Nicolas Cage Superman, who never really existed. They just was trying to cast him. I'm glad they didn't do that because he would have made a horrible Superman.
All right,
But
Leo. I take.
so they did a lot of the stuff right in the Flash. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that they shocked him. Oh, we should have said he was gonna have spoilers in this because they should have. You should have seen the movie
Should
already.
have seen the movie
Uh,
already.
You should have seen the movie. I like that they shocked the Flash to get his powers back. You know,
Yeah.
that gave a little tension. It wasn't like, you know what they could have did, but I'm not gonna do it because they're gonna try to cancel us on our
Oh yeah,
comeback.
yeah. On our comeback.
But I liked it. I liked it a lot. Let's see what you had to say about it. What you thought about it.
Well, I'm about to drop the hammer on it. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna have some good things to say, but I definitely have some bad things to say.
If
Now,
you're gonna say something about the babies, then hey, of course the movie had some bad parts in it, but overall, like the bad parts of the movie, the babies, the bad parts of the movie, George Clooney at the very end. You know,
I like that.
you like the George Clooney at the very end?
Definitely.
Okay, I thought it was a bad part because I was like, dang, they're gonna try to make George Clooney put him in as Batman instead of us getting, more Nicolas Cage. Or not Nicolas Cage.
You want to Ben Affleck.
I like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck wasn't a bad Batman.
And yeah, here's the main reason why this channel is I'm Not Amused. We didn't like nothing Leo said. We didn't like nothing, not a thing from the opening to the end. Nobody likes Ben Affleck Batman. Nobody, not even Ben Affleck. All right, two, we love Nicolas Cage. We would have all signed up for a Nicolas Cage Superman. The Flash himself, Ezra Miller, terrible, terrible. But what I wanted to talk about, Leo, is we got two multiverse movies that actually are the catalyst for a whole comic universe going any way they want to go. We got Flashpoint and we got Spider-Man 3. And this movie, in my opinion, was worlds better than Spider-Man 3. I mean, it just can't even compete. I actually thought that this movie would be terrible. I wrote it off from the jump. When they said Flash movie, I saw the trailer and I saw, y'all know my favorite Batman is Michael Keaton. So when I saw Michael Keaton, I was like, man, they fixing Batman because we all don't like Ben Affleck. Try not to get canceled. So when I saw Michael Keaton, I was like, what? They gonna get it right. All right. I saw the beginning of this movie and immediately, y'all all know Flash is always portrayed as a goofy character. All right. He's kind of like the comic relief, but also he's kind of like, he'll flip switches. He'll go from being brilliant 1 second to being an idiot the next. Brilliant, idiot, brilliant, idiot, brilliant, idiot.
Brilliant.
Huh?
I didn't see a lot of him being brilliant.
Well, it seemed like to me what they did was they basically split the personalities. So they made the past Flash or past Barry the mind, and they turned the future Barry into the comic relief. And he wasn't funny, all right? He actually was bringing down the quality of the movie because he wasn't funny. He wasn't comical. He was stupid. So there's a difference. It was to the point where it's like, I don't really like this character. Let's just be honest. I don't think anybody liked Future Barry. All right.
No, not even past Barry like Future Barry.
Not even past Barry like Future Barry. Okay, so now you got a whole. Boy, I hate that we got spoilers in this, but the spoilers make the review comes full circle. When I don't want to jump to the end, but basically when we saw who I thought was Zoom. I don't know if it was Zoom or they want to call it Reverse Flash.
It was him. They got rid of the Zoom character and made him Zoom character.
Okay, so we gonna just call him the Flash. When we got him turned into a future Flash, like it starts slowly clicking when he tries to save Supergirl and he's getting these. I don't know what they were, but it's like parts of the ship stuck in him, and he tried to phase through it, and since he couldn't, they started sticking to him, and. They what made it so brilliant is he kept trying his hardest to save Kara, and he couldn't. So every time they run back to the thing, past Barry would just be standing there like it's no hope. This is exactly what my mom was talking about. Some things can't, some problems can't be solved. Yeah. And you just have to accept it. When he kept coming back and he kept looking like help me, and then he'd take off again, bro, the movie was just getting better. You would think that you get to the end of the movie, you'd be like, well, we pretty much through all the rising action and we had the falling action. What'd you say?
Watching all of this stuff to get to that part was kind of like, man, but That was
Yeah.
the best part of the movie.
Yes, the ending was literally the best part of. You got a huge payoff for. I'm not saying the movie was bad. Watching him save the babies was kind of cringe because you're sitting here looking like this could offend people. I wasn't gonna be offended, but I was like, this is such a touchy subject in 2023. What's up?
I like the part that he didn't go save the babies at first. He went to go get a snack first.
Yeah.
I wish he would have got a snack early. He could have picked the snack off the ground. He's a Flash. He got time for that.
3-second rule.
You know what's the worst part about being in Flash?
What's that?
Everything is probably going super slow motion for him. So everything is an eternity.
But he still got shot.
Yeah, that and
didn't make a lot of sense, did it?
You know what the part was? It took him a long time to heal from the shot. Why did it take him so long to heal? He was like instant regeneration from that.
I'm glad you said that, Leo. Here's a paradox. Well, I'm gonna call it a paradox. Here's a plot hole. What I used to call it? Well, no. We're not gonna do plot glue. It was a plot hole. If Pazberry, the lightning bolt went through Pazberry, all right, a hole went through him and hit Futureberry and gave Futureberry powers. How was Pazberry the first one to recover if he had no powers? Plot hole, huh? The whole time I was sitting there like, okay, if he didn't have powers, why didn't he?
Well, you know what it was? You get the split. The spaghetti, you get the split spaghetti.
But
so whatever that Futureberry was doing, or Pazberry was doing, he was not in no timelines no more. He was going to have to jump in the time machine and go back to the exact point.
But I'm saying, how did he survive the lightning bolt if he had no powers? The other Barry healed and he recovered.
You could get hit by lightning and survive. That's what he was doing. It was killing him. So when he was getting hit with the lightning,
yeah, he
wasn't surviving. I mean, he was surviving. He wasn't just dead, and it wasn't going to affect that current Barry.
No, I'm not talking about like as in like I'm not talking about like as in killing him. I'm just wondering like how come he didn't have to recover? Like it should have been a wound. You get what I'm saying? Like the Futureberry got up because he healed. Like he was looking at him and his back healed and then he woke up. And I'm saying how come the Pazberry when he got shocked, how come he didn't go into like a state of cardiac arrest and was out for the, you know what I mean? Instead he just woke up normal.
I think he healed after it finally.
Which would mean that he still had powers. That's what I was confused by. I'm like, if he survived the lightning bolt, he must still have powers.
No,
but then he didn't. Then he started trying to walk through walls and he couldn't. And I'm like, wait a minute. So how did he survive the lightning bolt if he can't? You know what I mean? That's when I started being like, wait a minute. You were the first one to get up. So I was confused by that. Which is why I related the gunshot. I'm saying like basically, as fast as the guy healed from getting a lightning bolt through him, he should have healed. His leg should have healed just as fast, but instead he had to limp off. You remember in Flashpoint, the cartoon where he got shot and he had to limp.
Yeah.
Then he healed and he took off running again.
It definitely was a slow heal. It was like it took 10 minutes for him to heal from that bullet wound.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
That part right there was like, because I got it. They were non-factors, and they needed to let Supergirl get her super shine on, but they still had Batman protecting himself. While those two was like the bumbling fools. It
all paid off. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what I'm finna say about this movie, because we're gonna give it a rating at the end. All right, it all paid off when you think about it. Like, you had a mature Barry, you had an immature Barry. And here's the problem with a lot of movies when you have let's say like the reason why I feel like Captain Marvel or the Marvels will fail. A lot of times those characters won't face any adversity. In Captain Marvel in her own movie was the strongest character in that movie. So what adversity did she face? Overcoming being the strongest. That makes no sense. And that literally was the hill she had to climb. Being how strong she was, that makes no sense. In this movie, he had to accept that his mom could not be in the future. And if she was in the future, I mean, it was literally gonna end anyway. Like literally, you go in the past, you step on the bug. The future is not the same. Just putting that tomato can in that shopping cart literally ended their future. And the weird thing about it is, like, when he's sitting there watching Future Barry fight to save Kara, and there's literally no hope because there's no Superman. Zod said the infant was killed. Batman is literally fighting a robot. I'm assuming as a robot because it was way too many Kryptonians to them to say those were human Kryptonians.
Line got ended. Just like in the cartoon, the timeline got ended.
Mm-hmm.
When Flash go back to being the Flash in his timeline, where there is supposedly a Superman that might be Nicolas Cage. Oh my God, that would be heart-wrenching if they let that happen. All right, but a Nicolas Cage and a George Clooney would fit together, I guess. You get what I'm saying? As like, because it was overly so bad or whatever.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't.
I enjoyed that Batman that George Clooney was in. That was a very fun Batman for me. It was very colorful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was one of the most colorful visual movies.
It really was.
I think they did everything right in that movie. They had Jim Carrey, who was overly colorful.
It was a risk willing to take. It was a good risk. Yeah. It was a solid risk. It just didn't pan out.
The part that made that movie bad, it was just George Clooney.
I mean, you know, all right, so I'll put it like this. It wasn't as dark. And we used to Batman being a darker movie, and it was not so dark because you had all those, you know, it had some lighthearted characters in it. It was
trying to be the old school, where they made fun of Batman, and Batman was a parody.
Yeah.
With I can't even think of the old actors' names, but
what's his name? Adam West.
With Adam West, they was making it. It was supposed to be an in between Adam West, and like a dark Batman. Yeah. So they had that problem of continuity in that movie.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
It really would have been a good movie. It's just people, you know, I don't have a problem with people over criticizing the movie, but like,
you know what? I think people judge good movies on how much money they make.
Was it two of them? Was it Batman and Robin one and another one?
No, that was Batman and Robin.
Oh, it was only one George Clooney Batman movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had another Batman, and he's not even memorable.
That's what I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you got George Clooney, you got Michael Keaton, and I can't remember if there's a third.
There's one in between it, and he didn't last. I can't even remember the bad guy he was fighting.
Dang. Okay. Well, dang. Hey, multiverse. Maybe it wasn't. All right. Well, we got to research that because if it was one, I really don't remember.
It was the third Batman movie, and we can't remember who he was.
Wow, that's crazy.
We can't remember who the bad person was.
Yeah, you can't remember the villain either.
So,
because I know there's a Batman and Robin.
That George Clooney was the Batman and Robin one.
Oh wow, I thought it was two George Clooney movies. Is the reason why I'm confused.
Is Michael Keaton had two. See what made Michael Keaton so good is he had two bad guys. You always have to have a good bad guy. Okay. Yeah. And I think one of our friends, you know, his name starts with an S, ends with a D. We're gonna call him SD for right now.
All right.
He was saying that the problem probably with this Flash is that they didn't have a bad guy, but the Flash bad guy was himself. Because he was fighting himself. Movies that have you fighting yourself is like, man.
He was fighting himself on different levels, though.
Yeah, I know. And then they had Zod.
He himself was the bad guy, but he himself was the bad guy even before he created the bad guy.
Yeah, because he was the problem, and you would think
his decision was the bad guy.
Ben Affleck should have known that Barry's about to do something bad.
I wanted them to beat Zod, though. I'm sorry. I just was like, they sent Kara in to do the job. Kara couldn't do the job. She was strong enough to beat Goons, but she wasn't strong enough to beat Zod. And then their woman was standing around. She's probably her level.
Yeah.
and Zod was just overpowered, and Zod didn't even use his superpowers. He didn't even.
No.
He didn't even. There was no reason for him to be a Superman.
You know what the crazy thing is? This was like Superman Flash meets Groundhog Day.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
So
It was so
the
they
movie
they
has
even
so many.
mastered how far they can go back. They
Movie,
got that under control now.
the movie should go on like Onion something or whatever because it just has
Oh
so many
yeah,
layers to
yeah,
peel.
yeah,
Because like it had its bad parts,
yeah.
but overly, I'm gonna give it a 10.
What,
Like,
what did
because
you? All right, what did you think about the CGI? Like, I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
Watching him run was so annoying because it's like he
I think
didn't look
that's the
like a
style.
natural.
I think when you go with a style, you have to go with a style.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and his style made you really think about the Flash movements. I can't think of none of the other Flashes where I think about their movements, but his
yeah, yeah,
that whole thing ain't nobody else
yeah,
like the comic book Flash. You think about him being elongated and stuff like that.
yeah,
He had that down pat.
yeah,
It's very annoying to see him do it,
yeah,
but hey, he did something. You like you can't like what you want him to do, like run like a regular person. I
yeah.
don't think that works. I
Fair
think
enough. Fair enough. That's definitely what I was thinking. Maybe they looked at it and was like, and then decided to change it. So let me ask you this. This is gonna be really rough, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. You think the movie would have been better with a different actor?
no, I think he was the right actor for it.
Think it worked? Okay.
I think he worked because you all right. The so far the best Flash is probably off the sitcom.
Facts. No
All
question
right,
about it.
he's probably the best Flash.
But
But
that's
I
literally the
think this,
point,
I
though.
think, I think this actor got the annoying part down pat. He don't have like the
Hold on. Let me call time out. I'm gonna call a timeout. Flash is annoying to the other characters. This Flash was annoying to the viewer.
I think that they're trying to say that hey, we're like okay, when we watch the all right, let's backtrack. I'm gonna go back in the past, like
You
I'm the
can't do
Flash or something like that, right?
that. You create
All
a new
right.
timeline, Leo. Don't do
I'm
it.
saying the best Flash really is off of the DC animated movies.
They don't count.
I'm just saying, but he's the best Flash. Like you're
Okay.
saying, like the best Joker is the
Yeah.
best Joker off the animated series.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, so the best. So everybody's trying to get to like we have expectations that he could match that Flash, but he's not. He only does parts of the Flash good. He does the annoying part very well because nobody likes him.
No, he does. I'm saying that he doesn't do it well.
Do you like him?
No, I didn't.
And
I
then that's
didn't. I
that's
didn't
where
at
he's at.
all. I
So
didn't like
like
it
you
at
have to
all.
think,
I didn't like him in Justice League. So when we talk about why we wrote this movie off before it was released, when I saw him in Justice League, I'm gonna tell you in Justice League, I didn't like Batman. I didn't like Ben Affleck. I didn't like Flash, and I halfway. People ain't gonna like to hear this, but I halfway didn't even like Aquaman. But Aquaman was tolerable. All right, I don't have a problem with Diana. I think Diana's cast perfect. I even think this Jared Leto, the Joker that's at the end of that Justice League, the Zack Snyder one, where the Joker is like the Joker from the Joker from what's the name of that?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I like that Joker.
Well, this is my thing, Eric.
Most of the casting, I don't like the casting.
This is my thing. I like the fact that they gave you the opportunity to like. I went back and I watched the Rob Snyder's edition, the 6 hour, 4 hour movie or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and that whole movie was made to say, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make a new movie, but if I was gonna make a new movie,
Yeah.
this is the direction I would go in.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they made that direction. You get what I'm saying for the Flash.
Yeah.
And we all know what makes it bad is that they're not going to continue anything. Like they canceled The Rock, and The
Yeah.
Rock was actually a good character, but
I
they
think
was
so.
trying to like the new execs or whatever
Yeah.
are trying to go a whole new direction. So they should just scrap everything and tell us they're gonna scrap everything,
Didn't
and
they
then
just
actually
cancel a
scrap
movie?
everything.
Didn't they just cancel a movie? They canceled like a Batwoman movie, but they canceled another movie.
They need to cancel everything because they're not that particular group coming in they wanna B-52 everything.
If
Like
this
they
was a
want to
stock,
recast everything.
if this was a stock deal, I'd bail out because they
Yeah.
basically bombed two good movies, huh?
Well, I want to say it's time to bail out because I think the
It's time to
WB
bail
is,
out.
is the WB was doing bad. You know, they
Yeah.
have like their series or whatever, or their own platform.
Yeah,
Their own platform is doing better on HBO.
yeah, I know, right? It's so weird because this movie was a good movie. You gave it a 10 out of 10. I would easily give it an 8 out of 10. And I saw Alex, shout out to him, gave it a 6.
What DC movie do you think is better than this?
Ooh, DC movies, boy, they about started the best they could do was this has been the best one. I would say this one.
Like this and Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam was the best. This one beat it. The next the next before this was that.
League, though. I actually enjoyed the Justice League. I enjoyed the Justice League because I liked them fighting against themselves. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman.
Terrible.
Because of them fighting against each other.
Terrible.
Now, if we could do our own director cuts where we just take all the good parts out and just make it one movie,
you'd have a YouTube
it's
short.
An awesome movie. It's an awesome movie. I like the Man of Steel.
It's terrible.
Because the Man of Steel. All right, this is the best part about the Man of Steel.
The ending.
They wanted to make the Man of Steel like a real live version, and they did that. I think they were successful.
Yeah.
We can't. If we regular people, we're not gonna be able to see Superman really fighting people. To me, it looked like they were fighting like Goku out there. They were Dragon Ball Z fighters.
So you giving, okay, I see what you're saying. You giving all of the DC movies a chance. I was more so talking about the recent ones, but I didn't like the old ones either. I mean, their track record speaks for itself. You know what I mean? Like it's not getting any traction.
If you go back and you watch, like the Man of Steel, go back and watch the Man of Steel.
How far back are you going? Like, what's the first Batman movie you giving credit?
Man of Steel. That's how far back I'm going.
Oh, so none of those Batman movies we talked about count.
Like the beginning Batman movies?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what Batman movie is the first Batman movie that you count? A Ben Affleck Batman?
Yeah, I think of those other Batmans and something else. They're not
you saying that basically you starting the DC universe with Man of Steel.
Man of Steel,
and then everything after that counts.
And then everything else that counts, yeah.
But that Joker movie, Name the Joker, it don't count, right?
No. I think he's something else. Because like the Joker himself is different people. There's like 3 different Jokers out there.
So what about that Gotham movie? Did it count?
If you talk about the continuity of Jokers, there's 3 Jokers running around.
I'm trying to figure out what movies you're counting and what movies you're not counting though. Did you count the Gotham movie?
Gotham movie?
You remember it had like
No. The one with the vampire guy in it? Mm-mm.
Yeah, that don't count either.
I thought that was pretty bad.
Okay. All right. I think I understand what movies you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm only counting from
this definitely is the best of all those movies.
Yeah. They boring movies,
but they finally stole. They're trying to
give you so much story. They're trying to give you so much story, so much characters.
I'm saying, but they finally used the Marvel strategy correctly. You know what I mean? Like they brought in guest characters, and they didn't try to. Look, I put it like this. This reminds me of a Spider-Man movie because you bring in a character like, let's say, in that last Spider-Man movie, you have Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. Just like you have Batman in this movie, and you have in that Spider-Man movie, you also had the different versions of Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Those guest characters did not dominate the movie. The movie was still solely based on what is it? Ezra Miller, Flash. He literally was the heart of this movie. You got to see Batman. You got to appreciate Batman. You didn't even want to see Batman die, but at the same time, it still stayed. The only person that could save this movie was the Flash, no matter how hardcore fought. And they kept her so weak that she could not save the fight. Okay. Yeah. In the Spider-Man movie, They kept Doctor Strange pretty much at the beginning, and then he pretty much phased out of the movie. They even gave you a guest cameo of Daredevil. This was the first time that they looked at Marvel movies, saw what we liked in a Marvel movie, and implemented it in a DC movie. When they tried to do a universe movie and tried to do Endgame or Infinity War, and they did the Justice League movie, we didn't know these characters. They pulled them in, and we didn't know a Flash. You just pulled them in, and we. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Flash. We didn't get a chance to like Aquaman. Aquaman will be like the equivalent of what's his name, Thor. We already liked Thor because Thor had so many movies.
What? The problem is Thor gave you a good movie, so they did the inverse of what MCU did because they gave us the Justice League, and then it was like, okay, now we're gonna go off because they
and then they gave you a terrible villain.
I watched the Superwoman movie. What is it? Wonder Woman. I went back and watched Wonder Woman movie, and I was not entertained. I went back and watched the second Wonder Woman movie, and I wasn't entertained a whole lot. I didn't even try to go back and watch Aquaman again.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
This one right here, The Flash, is the first movie that I was like, besides like Batman versus Superman and the Injustice movies, and on the Super, I went back and watched those.
Yeah.
But the spin-off character, you know what? No, the real sad part about this is we don't get what we really want is a big bad guy.
Exactly.
Who is Darkseid, and if we got Darkseid, like we got a little bit of Darkseid, but we didn't get to see him fight Superman.
Well, I think they understand they're not making good movies yet, so they're not gonna throw that name out.
But that's the idea behind it. Yeah. And I think they had a chance with it because it wasn't like they wasn't making money because they made so much money off of The Rock. But I think The Rock was a problem because The Rock was like, I have a vision. Yeah. And The Rock's vision wasn't what they wanted. Because they didn't want to have that Superman who is a good Superman in it come back. And I don't think you could bring in another Superman and have him fight Darkseid and we enjoy it. Yeah. It's going to have to be this Superman right here. Yeah. Because I think they did a good job of killing him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they did a good job of killing him. They did a good job of bringing him back. I want to see a Cyborg movie, you know? You just imagine if they gave us a Teen Titan movie, man.
It will flop. You know it will flop. I mean, here's the biggest problem with DC. You threw the biggest titles and you flopped the biggest titles. That's why it's a wash. That's exactly why you say, you know what I mean? Like, it's basically throw the whole thing away. You bomb Batman and Superman. You bomb Justice League. Flash is a financial bomb. You know,
the new stuff they trying to do, they bombing that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally a wash. It's almost like basically give it some time. Let us forget about it.
Came out before the Flash was not good. Huh? The dude who was a vampire who played Batman, that wasn't a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, they literally, it's so weird because you have good villains. They're not doing the good villains. You have good heroes. They're not actually putting them on the screen correct because you can't have Batman being funny because you spent all these years in the animated movies making him this dark. He's not the comic relief. You can't turn him into the comic relief. You can't make him or Superman funny. You can kind of tweak Superman to where he's funny, but
have to mold the mood right from. The real problem is anytime they're making a movie, they're making a new movie and they're not going off of what the comics gave you. Yeah. So like the Batman versus Superman, the mood. If you go back and you watch again, like I say, the animated movies of like Batman Volume 1 and Batman Volume 2 or whatever it is. The mood behind that was that Batman trying to go out of business. He was a lot older. Yeah. And they got Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck did play a good old Batman, but because he couldn't move, he couldn't fight. He was real stiff all the time. Yeah.
Well, they had Michael Keaton out here fighting in his living room. I mean, in his kitchen, he was moving. So
Michael Keaton is a whole lot more agile looking than Ben Affleck was. Ben Affleck looked like he lifted weights for the role.
yeah,
Michael
well,
Keaton looked like I've been living. You know what?
uh,
I'm an old man, and I don't know.
they
He just he did a good job of doing what he was doing in there. He did a lot of standing around taking bullets for the
yeah,
Flash.
yeah,
I didn't like that the Flash. So this was messing me up with the Flash, and I guess it's because it was the kid Flash, and he didn't know how to use his powers yet because he wasn't shot in the leg. He could have been shot in the leg at that point when it was in the no. He could have handled everybody before he got hurt. Like he could have broke the glass and took out all of the soldiers
yeah,
before it got to be a problem. But they let it be a problem and they let Batman do all of the work, which almost got them killed.
yeah. I have an idea that may be what DC needs to do. It's a terrible idea, but DC ain't got a lot of options. All right, they kind of out of options. What they should do in the future, because one thing we didn't talk about is they do great series. Green Arrow was a great series. Flash was a good series. Gotham, I don't know if you ever watched that, but it's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is a child.
Gotham is the best one.
Gotham is like the best one after Flash, because Flash is the best one. And Green Arrow is probably better than it. What they should do is have a crossover event, and at the end of each series should be a crossover movie. That way, you did all the building up, because they do a good job building up on these series, and you could always intertwine these characters in a series. And instead of just going for these big names like Michael Keaton, which, you know, some say big name, some Nicolas Cage, Henry Cavill, that's Superman, Gail, whatever her name is. Instead of trying to bring in these big names, just bring in all the TV series to a grand final 1 hour, 2 hour long, 2 hour long movie crossover event, and the fans will get that payoff.
I didn't like about the series though.
What?
So I used to watch The Flash.
Yeah.
Okay. And because I wasn't a regular on the Green Arrow, because I think Green Arrow came out first.
Yeah.
So when they used to do the switchovers,
yeah, you lose track.
People get lost because I'd be like, where do I need to go to watch this? Because I think it was just pretty rough. It was rough to.
The key was is if you watching one series, let's say if you're watching Gotham, and you missed the crossover episode, you could keep going. But if you tried to jump into the new show, Flash, the crossover event brought him in, so you almost need to watch that crossover event in Green Arrow. But if you started with Flash episode 1, you could skip it. I'm basically saying that the crossover episodes in both were filler.
Yeah.
So, but it ran me off because they brought in Hawkgirl in one episode of Green Arrow, or was that Flash? And since I may have went to sleep on it, when I rewatched it, I was like, I'm so lost. I just dropped the show.
Where the dude, the Human Torch or whatever, I can't. The characters is lunch, but it was like the guys of tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. I think Hawkgirl came with that. Yeah.
I was watching that. That was a good show, but then it would jump off, and I was like, I don't know where to go.
Yep, that's literally what ran me off too. But if they did a movie instead of these crossover episodes.
Yeah, you know what? I think what people hated, they didn't want to pay those crossover actors to be in it.
That would have been that. This movie, the reason I asked you earlier was Ezra Miller. If he was replaced, would have been a better movie. If they used that TV Flash, I would have been sold. This was a good movie. I felt like the plot of this movie was good. The only thing I didn't like was Future Barry. He was annoying, but hey, that is kind of like you say. It's kind of like how the character is written.
I wanted to see more of the bad guy.
There was no bad guy. You got to see the bad guy the whole show.
They made him the bad guy because he's the one who pushed past Barry out into that time zone.
He was literally the star of the movie. The bad guy is the star, so you got to
That
watch the
guy
bad
is
guy the whole
smart.
movie.
Because he been trying to do him as Doctor Doom. So you know when they gave the 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 future Barry, we got to figure out what Barry's Barry. But
I
the kid
know.
Barry, we'll say the kid Barry.
Yeah, they were the same age.
When he put up the the Batman suit and he put the yellow on it,
Yeah,
that was supposed to be like the homage to the Reverse Flash in there,
yeah.
are giving you are like the homage to the Kid Flash in there as well.
Yeah.
So what?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and rate the movie. I think you gave it a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, you was being very proud with that. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So we're gonna balance it and give it a 7. All right, the numbers don't even average to a 7, but Leo was being so generous. I had to give it a 7 out of 10. I'm not amused. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because it was.
At first, so I give it a. It would actually be a 9. It'll be a 9.
Gave it a 9.
If you put our two averages together, our two things, it'll be a 9, and that would actually be where it is. I think.
I will say this. It deserves either a sequel or some new movie spinoff. Hmm?
You know what's the craziest thing that they're doing wrong with the movie? They didn't give you none of the Flash's bad guys at all. We didn't see no Boomerang person hanging around.
That's why I said I thought they did a good job still in the Marvel. Okay, if they would have did it the way they wanted to do it, if Marvel wasn't such a success, they'd have threw in a Boomerang guy or what's that dude? He dominated Injustice, Captain Cole or Gorilla Grodd. Is it Gorilla Grodd or is it?
It would have been great for him.
Huh?
It would have been.
They would have been terrible though. DC's problem is never the villains. It's they write terrible scripts, and I'm saying that they did a good job without a villain. Because basically, what movies do wrong is you have to build up a villain just like you build up a hero. And since the villain was the hero, they built up both at the same time, and he realized that he was his own problem. Usually a movie will just build up the hero, and then when you get to the villain, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, we don't like this guy. And so when they beat him, you feel nothing. Marvel did such a good job because they spent a good 2/3 of the movie focusing on Thanos. So when it was time to fight Thanos, at the end, you're like, I don't know who, I don't know who to root for. And it was the same way with Black Panther. You're like, I don't know who to root for because you're like, I feel where he's coming from. DC finally did it. They didn't even do it like that with that Black Adam movie. We just liked The Rock so much that we just liked the movie anyway. We didn't really like the bad guy. So I feel like DC just never does a good job building up the villain. You end up not liking the villain. You get to see the villain. The villain is underpowered. They really can't compete. Watching Zod fight Kara was fun because she couldn't compete.
Zod was a good villain in the Dawn of Superman, Dawn of Justice, or the Man of Steel. The Man of Steel Zod was a good villain, man.
Nobody remembers that movie, Leo. We weren't even born then. Only you were around in the 2013s.
That was a good movie. Zod was gonna kill those kids, and he made Superman take his life.
Nobody was even around in 2013. Nobody knows what you're talking about. You sound senile.
Superman was over there. All right. Zod was actually figuring out how to become super in the atmosphere.
How many times you watched this movie?
Man, probably 10. Probably 10 times. That's like 30 hours of watching Superman.
I'm going to watch this movie today so I can see for the first time because I don't remember watching this movie. Is this the movie with the terrible... It is the movie with the terrible Lois Lane. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to suffer through this and I'm going to watch it. I remember her trying to negotiate with a whole army not to attack. Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nobody liked that movie. But anyway, I'm going to give Man of Steel a chance. It's the only movie you vouch for out of the whole DC universe, so I'll give it a chance.
Batman versus Superman?
Nobody liked that movie either. All right, so I'll watch.
No, my only problem was, well, it had a lot of problems in it too. The biggest problem was Martha.
Yeah,
that was a big problem.
wasn't it? These, you know what? I just decided because you reminded me.
Batman was like really like going to kill him. Batman was really about to kill Superman in that movie. That was a big problem.
I need to watch the movie to see if Batman could, because I couldn't imagine in the cartoons Batman being
Batman
able
was
to.
about to kill Superman in there, and Lois Lane was like, "You need to save Martha. Why you say that name?"
Martha. Martha Wayne. I don't even remember that being her name. Martha and Thomas Wayne. Is that right? It's Superman that we don't know the Clark's name. We don't,
because their name was Ma and Paul.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you could change the name to Martha and we not know it. And we only know that, the Kents. All right, Neil, you got anything you want to promote on your channel? Anything you got going on?
I got some real big stuff I'm doing crazy. Art projects, check them out on Leo Green Studio. What you got going on over there? I know your channel is doing big and bad things because they got Street Fighter and they got Mortal Kombat on those.
Definitely. Well, let me ask you this real quick. Is your newest content pumped to Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok?
Instagram is where you'll find a lot of it through. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do better on TikTok.
Yeah. So basically, Instagram and YouTube is the best way to follow you.
The best way to follow me is to follow me on YouTube because that's where the money's gonna be at.
Yeah. Okay.
You can see what we're doing, but you can see everything we're doing on YouTube.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. All right. So you asked me about. Okay. Street Fighter is the hottest thing going. I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter. I've been trying to host a lot of events on Sundays. I got Sunday Night Fights. Is the best time to watch our channel, Count Shredder, on YouTube.
Who's this Sunday?
Huh?
Who's this Sunday coming up?
I don't know what we're going to do this Sunday. I'm going to find somebody to call out, and it'll probably be me fighting somebody in the first to 5. Okay. And then after that, I'll jump into ranked matches. Mortal Kombat is definitely the excitement. We're going to talk about why Mortal Kombat.
On Mortal Kombat today. Somebody did some combos on Mortal Kombat that lasted a whole 20 minutes.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat literally is the highlight of 2023. Like, it really was the game to look forward to, and we didn't even know it was coming out until like a month ago. But it's the game that I'm really most interested in is Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I'm going to play that game solo, but I'm letting the Street Fighter die down so I can jump into playing solo games because I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. What's up?
Is this the one where you start off as a kid stabbing people?
Yeah, I'm loving that. I'm loving. I'm really interested in this Wolverine game coming out next year. So yeah, I kind of want to merge into playing the one-player game. So you got Wolverine, you got Spider-Man coming out, and I'm down for any samurai game. I mean, you can just sign me up when they say it's a samurai game coming out. Sign me up. All right, so we're back. I'm not amused. We got football season coming up, and we got basketball coming back around the corner, and we always gonna have movies. We're gonna have a versus battle. I got a versus battle that I want to throw at Leo Green. He gonna like it, and we might get back into our anime versus battles. But y'all just gotta support us. We're gonna make our comeback, y'all. We appreciate all the support.